and welcome back to my channel and to another episode from my Artist Life Hack series. And today's episode I'll be covering a topic that you guys have been begging me to cover in a video for so many months now. You guys have been asking me for a video on how to design characters and how to name characters. So today I'm going to be starting off with naming a character. I have boiled it down to 4 super useful hacks that I know is going to help you guys. So be sure to stick around for the entire video so that you can get something really useful out of this video. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and please check out my other videos from this Artist Life Hack series, because I really do believe that you guys are going to get something really good and useful out of this series. I cover everything from how to erase marker, how to cure eye fatigue, and super useful hacks covering how to draw any pose you can ever imagine, and you'll be able to draw them easier than you've ever done before. So please check them out, guys, okay? And without further ado, let's get started on this video. Hack number 1. Naming characters after people that you know. Now, this is something that a lot of young people do. They tend to create characters or name their characters after themselves, after their friends, their family, and even acquaintances, teachers, all that good stuff. Sometimes people in your life actually inspire whole characters, or there's something about your character that reminds you of a person that you know, or you just think their name is really cool. There's actually a couple characters in my own published series, Sacred, that's available now in stores, that I actually have characters in my story that are named after people that I know. Such as my character Celeste. She's actually named after a family member of mine, my older cousin, who I adore. Her name Celeste comes from the word celestial, which has to do with el cielo, the sky, the stars, you know, celestial bodies and all that good stuff. So her name really suited this character of mine, and I even kind of based a little bit of like her hairstyle off of my cousin's hair texture. So keep this in mind when you meet people. Listen to their name, see if it's something really cool, write it down, memorize it, type it in your phone or something, because you never know when you'll come up with a character who really needs a name, and guess what? You'll have a whole list of really cool names that you've collected over time. I do this all the time. Names are just so interesting, and I collect them like cards. I'll talk more about actually basing characters off of people that you know and the proper way to do that in my next video, where I'll be talking about creating characters. And now going back to the name Celeste that I was saying, I really liked the name, not only because it was my cousin's name, but because of the meaning which came from the word celestial, because this goes into my next hack, which is hack number 2. Choose a name with a meaning that associates with your character. Now, you don't always have to do this, but when you think about it, just about every name ever created has some kind of origin in some type of meaning or some type of history. Like my name, Lisbeth, actually comes from the name Elizabeth, which means child of God. So when you really think about it, every name, no matter how common you think it is, like the name Eric, they have their own really cool meaning that when you look into it, you're like, wow, that's an awesome meaning. I would love to make a character around the meaning of this name and keep their attitude, their personality in mind and all that good stuff, and then look for a name that's appropriate for them that might actually reflect the type of person they are. This is also very, very useful when creating characters that may live in other countries other than your own, or it's a period story where it takes place in the olden days. But be warned, no matter how beautiful you think a name is, please look into the meaning of the name. Because you might accidentally put together words from another language or put characters together from another language and think it's a really beautiful name, and to you as a foreigner you think it's really beautiful, but when you look into what the name means, it could be a little creepy or inappropriate. Such as these poor people who were trying to name their child in Japan, and they wanted to put together some beautiful kanji to name their child. They named their child Child of Water or Water Baby, and they were not permitted to name their child this. Why? Because this was an old term for stillborn. So even if you think you're familiar with the language, still look into the meaning of the name, because it may not be something you want to use. So do your research. Make sure you know the meaning of a name before you use it, especially if you're not familiar with the language. Hack number 3. When all else fails, talk gibberish. What the heck are you talking about, Elizabeth? Why aren't you making any sense? This is what I mean by this. Sometimes there just is not a name that exists that fits your character's personality and who they are. Once you've designed a character, once you've created a character and you really get to know who they are, I assure you, names are going to start popping into your head, and so will certain sounds. Give me a moment. Like my character right here. He is, one, very short, very sweet, very shy, and a little funny looking to a lot of people. And when I kept his precious heart and his personality in mind, I began to think of sounds and pronunciations that really reminded me of who he is. And I came up with the name Shiko. Shiko, I thought, was a very cute and funny little name that really suited him, and I kept it ever since, and now he's one of the main characters in my published series. The pronunciation really suits who he is as a person. And this is also true with existing names, like my character Joseph. My character Joseph, when I created him, I had no idea what I wanted to name him, but that was also partially because I hadn't developed him enough to know what to name him. So I gave him a temporary name, which was Joseph, which I thought was a very handsome name. But the more I developed Joseph, the more his name began to suit him. And this kind of goes into hack number 4. The more you know your characters and understand who they are, the easier it will be to find a suitable name for them. When I named my character Joseph, I really just had it as a temporary name. I was going to change it later on when I found a more suitable name for him, but the more I developed him, the more noble he became. The more I got to know him as a person, I felt like he was very noble, very powerful, he had a very good head on his shoulders and very private, and I felt like his name Joseph began to suit him more and more, or maybe he actually began to change in a way that he began to suit the name Joseph more. So either Joseph began to suit him more, or he began to suit the name Joseph. Either way, the name began to fit. And the more I got to know him, the more I realized he's a total hothead, has a terribly short temper, and somehow having such a noble and proper name like Joseph began to almost be absurd in those funny moments, you know? So that just made his name that much more perfect for him. So that's what I mean. The more you know your characters, the easier it's going to be for you to actually name them. And I know that maybe right now you might be struggling to develop your characters, but don't worry, I'll be creating a video very soon talking all about how to develop your characters. So I hope you'll be looking out for that video, guys. So that's it, guys. I hope this video was super useful for you, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you found it useful and you enjoyed it and want to see more artist life hack videos from me. Be sure to subscribe too. It really shows your support and really lets me know that my videos are helping you guys and makes me work harder, because I really want to see you guys succeed and reach your artistic goals. So until next time, guys, please take care, God bless, and do not be afraid to nerd out. Take care, guys.